Okay, I'm going to officially call the meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call. Nancy?
Nancy Bell, Ripon Public Library Director.
Travis? Yes.
Doug Iverson, Council Representative, Vice President.
Mark Spears, former professor, UW Oshkosh, current tennis coach, Valley Christian School. We had our first meeting today. Over 30 people signed up, and library board member, and I'm here to serve.
That's fantastic. Lisa Weeks, President. All right, so let's move on to approve minutes from January 13th board meeting. Any questions or concerns about the things that went on the 13th?
Doug, any concerns?
No, I'm good. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from January 13th.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Let the
Okay.
record reflect, Travis said thumbs up.
Awesome. Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Okay.
Okay. We don't have anybody here for public comments, so we will move on to item number 5, the director's report.
Awesome. Cool. So I have a chunk of text to read. So the first big chunk is all about the renovation that we are all hyper aware of.
Good.
So renovation phase 1 has been completed. The library successfully reopened yesterday following our 1-week closure. Staff and volunteers worked tirelessly to ensure we were ready to reopen and serve the public yesterday. Their dedication and teamwork made this transition possible. It would have been completely impossible without all of the hard work, like logistics, the prep, the actual moving of our hardworking staff, and then the volunteers who showed up every day and actually stayed past the time that they had
So
volunteered.
they volunteered, they weren't actually paid. Is that right?
Well,
The volunteers were not paid. No, the staff were paid
Okay.
for their regular hours.
For the regular hours.
Yeah. Incredibly proud and grateful for our staff and our community. It was an amazing effort. I was hoping to get like a video reel ready for you guys so you could see some of the chaos and fun and work that happened. I did not get it done in time because it was a fight to the wire last week. So send out a video or show it to you next
We
board
know you
meeting.
were busy.
Yeah, it was very busy, but we tried our best to take
Thank
progress photos and everything, and it was such an amazing
Did
effort.
Doug volunteer? Did he come in and help?
I have a thing called work.
You can't just flit around playing tennis all day.
Well, he has staff he has to look at.
Oh, that's true, that's true. And let's not forget that you deserve a pat on the back as well. You organized
thank you.
this, you made sure that everything was running smoothly, and we appreciate your contribution, in case anyone hasn't said that.
Here, here.
Thank you. Yeah, and if anybody wants to walk over after, I would be more than happy to show you around. The children's wing is fully operational. There's still some furniture that needs to be delivered. It's happening like the first or second week of March still, just a few items. Collections are going to continue to be reorganized as we really settle into this space. So much of this project was just making sure the stuff was where we needed it to be, and then we're gonna rearrange it as we continue on. Linda will be actually starting story time in March upstairs right away.
Wow.
So we have the TV set up, the room is all set up, ready for her to use. Silver Creek is now open and browsable. So we have staff who are working a desk down in there temporarily through June. We're basically doubling our staffing coverage because we're working Silver Creek and the main circulation desk. So we have had to put some reduced hours for Silver Creek, so it's not 100% available the same time as the regular circ
Okay.
desk. So it's going to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 will be the Silver Creek browsing times. But if you ask at the desk, we're more than happy to grab whatever you were needing from that room. Ben has done an amazing job making sure that the circulation area, all the public computers, all the TVs, the copier scanner, all of that stuff is up and running and ready for the public to use. Which is great because we had people show up 9 a.m. on Monday asking for tax forms, ready to print off. So everything is functioning and it's fantastic. Phase 2 of the renovation is already underway. If you glance over out the window at the library, you can actually see we already have the new patio door was installed today in all the class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so all of that's happening. They're ripping out carpet over in that wing already. So yeah,
That's
it's already
amazing.
hardcore underway.
That's the silver door that enters the library?
Yes, that one right there on the bricked in portion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah, all of that is brand new, and that happened today. They put in all that glass.
Was it just wood there before?
Yeah, it was a brick wall. So they took it all out already.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Especially now that the weather's getting, well, we've had a
It's
few
getting
nice
nice-ish.
days where it's like, oh, I want the patio.
It's Wisconsin spring.
It's,
Yeah.
it's the first spring according to Luke
It's the
Sampe,
first
so.
And then additional staff shout-outs, Linda and Susie still had programs during the month of January and still have programs continuing in the month of February through all of the renovation craziness. Linda attended the high school's mental health awareness night. We had like 2 weeks to prep in the middle of all of this, and Linda, said, no, this is really important to the community. I want to make sure we're there. And so she went that evening, and she was there with curated book displays, 2 raffle baskets, and had additional library promotional materials.
Amazing.
I'll wait till you're done, because I want to ask a question.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Susie actually launched a lecture series, The Great Painters of America, which is being presented by Carrie L. Fritz Klaus, also in collaboration with Ripon College's Lane Library. So we're actually holding these every week, February through March, up at the Lane Library. The first lecture was held last week during our week of closure. So Susie worked here until 3:30, went home, showered and changed, and then went over to the program that evening.
What time does it start?
It is at 5 p.m.
Okay.
I will double check and get back to
Okay.
you.
Well,
But there is one on Thursday, so
okay.
in 2 days.
Is there a cost to attend? or-
Nope, it's completely free.
Okay.
It is through us. This is part of our initiative to, celebrate the 250th of the United States,
Okay.
celebrating the Great American Painters. Later in March, there's also a capstone event. Susie's collaborating with the Little White Schoolhouse to host it, and sponsored in part by Ripon Dough Company. It's going to be a local art showcase. So we've just gone through the lecture series of all the great American artists, and then we'll be hosting our own Ripon artists
That's
at the end of it. It's been an enormous amount of work for her to get through, and I know she's really happy with how it's all turning out, and I'm really proud of that.
How are you getting the local artists? Like, are they applying
Yeah.
or what's happening? with-
Yeah, so she has reached out to, there's a couple of art collaboratives who, it's basically like a large art club, and so everybody, do you know things about it?
Not about that, but
Okay.
there's one that meets over in Green Lake.
Yeah, I believe she reached out to them as well.
So I guess someone takes the rest.
Yeah, and then the schools, she's reached out to the art teachers to hopefully even get some students to participate, as well as borrow some art easels so that we can even display the artwork
And it's going to
appropriately.
get to the White Schoolhouse?
Yep.
Excellent.
Maybe we'll discuss this later, but has there been progress on the art that we have from the painting that Doug suggested?
It is in a closet at the library.
I think that's.
It's out of my office. It's the most it's traveled.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there. It'll be
So
fine.
your short answer is no, nothing
No.
has progressed.
But I know where it is too.
Yes.
And then the last thing on my very long director's report, we have 2 new pages joining us, replacing the 2 pages that have left. So Michelle Haas, her first day was today actually. She came in and did paperwork this afternoon. And then Liliana Rash will be starting next week, Wednesday.
Are they teenage or 20s?
One is a retired teacher, and then the other one is a high school student. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yep. So it'll be great. Okay. And then usage stats. I actually looked back at December, and it looks like almost all of our numbers are actually increased from December, which is interesting, even though with more of the renovation crazies and all of the interesting weather that we've had recently. So we actually had more active card users. We had significantly more questions asked. I am curious how many of those were actually renovation related.
Yeah.
Yeah, when is this going to be done? When is this going to be done?
Yeah,
What's
how
going on?
long? What's going on? I think in December we had like 400 questions, and then this past month we had 653.
Wow.
Why did you pick that color? Why did you pick that color?
Why is it teal? Circulation was also up. We had invested more in digital items starting at the end of 2025, which I'm really happy we did, because almost 30% of our circulation last month was all digital.
What was it the
Actually,
month before? Like,
so it increased by like 5 or 6%.
thank you.
Actually, just between December and January.
Travis, you can hear okay? Good.
Perfect. Meeting room use actually also increased between the 2 months, which is insane because we had less meeting rooms between December and January. 69 meeting room reservations, 107-ish hours of room usage, even though Nash and Silver Creek are fully unavailable now as full storage. So that's just the Jorgensen room, and the Romper room had 69 room reservations. Yeah. Online access also increased this month, 230 in-person computer sessions and 353 people using the Wi-Fi through the building. And we only had 12 programs over the course of the month, but we still had 210 participants.
I guess they heard that you're the new director and Lisa's the president. They're like, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get it done. Yeah, I think we had like half the amount of programs that we had in December, but we had almost the same amount of participants. So people are really coming to the things that we're offering.
Good.
So
That's
like
good.
Regardless of how many we have, so that's fantastic.
Wonderful.
And then estimated value of services is about $96,000, which I think is only like $3,000 more than December.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
But the 96,000 was that?
Yep,
And
96,600.
And of that, how much finances did we probably invest? A third of that? Or
Not even close to what we pretty much do. Like the bulk of our investments is in staff time. So our staff wages is probably half of what our ROI was. So we probably spent like $45,000 on like staff wages over the course of the entire month.
You mean 4,500?
No. Because we employ 4 full-time people and then we have a bunch of part-time people. So like our return on investment is basically a 2-to-1
Good,
ratio
good.
across. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the director's report?
I don't have any.
Okay. Let's move on to financials.
Okay. Financials, we have, so Sean only had time for the check register this month, which also, it's just the first month of the year, so there's nothing else to add
Yeah.
beyond these expenditures. So it's just the $11,721 that was spent. The most notable on here, I mean, you can see the $5,000 for the digital content purchases went through this past month. That is actually an expenditure from December, which is why we were able to have so much digital content used this past month. And then, yeah, we were finally able to, probably the last invoices we'll see from Baker and Taylor ever is the $1,500. And then the other big charge on here is our liability insurance for about $3,000.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Do we bid that out? How do we come to that?
For which?
For the liability insurance?
I think that is a city-wide contract, so it must have been bid out at some
Municipal
time.
property insurance, okay,
Yeah.
that would probably be the league insurance then, if it's city. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with the name, but yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion to accept, or this is just informational?
It's just information.
Right. Okay.
And then OACF, our regular Ripon Public Library Fund is still doing really strong at about $795,000. And then the renovation fund is finally seeing a decrease from the approved
Right.
reimbursements that we've been doing. So it's dipped down to $447,000. Yeah.
Of the 795,000, how much do we project we'll have to use for the renovation expense?
I think projected was, I think it was about $500,000. I want to say about $250,000 was estimated to be left in that account after all was said and done, but I can double check.
Do we, for what's left, 250,000, what do we plan to invest that, keep it, use it, what do we plan?
So right now it's all invested through the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation. So like some of these, I always give you guys screenshots because that's the most up-to-date information.
Right.
But on the statements it does list out like the interest and dividends and contributions. So it is currently invested. I think the original intent for the remaining $250,000 was to leave it invested as an emergency fund, basically, just in case something happens
I
to
think
the
I remember
roof or the
talking
tree
about
falls
that.
down. Yeah, so like the idea is usually to have 30 to 50% of an entire annual year's budget in a fund somewhere, just in case something happens.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Questions or comments about the financials? All right, let's move on to number 7, review, discussion, and possible approval of the 2025 annual report.
So basically, this is the state annual report that we complete every year, and we have to get it into the state Department of Public Instruction, who's kind of the oversight of the entire state of public libraries as well as schools. And we will need official library board approval and actually 2 signatures at the very end of this. So this is kind of the formal version of the year in review report that I have made. It goes over all the financial data, our staffing, circulation numbers, all of that. So none of this information should really be a surprise as we go through it every month. Possibly some of the numbers look a little different than they do in my general year in review, and that's just because the definitions that the state requires us to use change slightly over time, and so generally library directors, myself included, kind of use more of a standard. This is all programming versus what the state differentiates between programming, self-directed activities, or nothing. So for example, the event that Linda DeCramer just attended for the mental health awareness, that's not going to be included on this report at all because it falls between the lines of the definitions that exist. So, but when we look at the director report that I give to you guys, we do include that because it's staff time and effort and resources that we've spent.
Makes sense.
Otherwise, I can just run through and give like a brief
Just a brief
understanding.
overview.
Okay,
And we'll
great,
ask questions if we have them.
perfect.
Good.
Okay, so basic information, just saying like mailing address, who I am I certified, when does my certification end on that first page, size of our library, which is 28,000 square feet, the amount of hours that we're open per year. So the way that the state does this is that we're a tier 3 library, which is just fully based on our population size. There's tier 1, which is like the big populations. Those are going to be Milwaukee, your Madison. Oshkosh might actually even fit in that because it's a really big span because our big cities, there's only really 2
By
of
the
them.
way, they were closed yesterday.
They had staff development day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were open.
We were open and they were closed. So based on we're normally open 63 hours per week most of the year, and that is actually above average for a library and community our size. Usually it's between like 50 and 60 hours, so we're at 63, so we're just slightly above what that is. Our library collection size. So we currently have about 52,000 books in print for a total collection size of almost 62,000. So that's, even if we're just looking at books, that's probably about 6.5 items per person, which is often how the state qualifies these or quantifies these.
Per person and population of.
Yes, of the city of Ripon.
Thank
Yeah. So generally, like you want to see a range of like 5 to 8 items per capita for a population our size, and we're doing about 6.5.
Of course, we
So
serve
we're
a-
right in the middle of that range.
We serve a wider population than just Ripon, of course.
We do serve a wider population. However, when we're talking about the state numbers, because we're a municipal library, we talk more about the city population as opposed to the service
That
population.
makes sense.
Yes. If you're talking about something like when I was working at Shawano County, and you're talking about a county library, even though each of the individual cities that we have a library in, we have to talk about service population because it's 41,000 people, even though the cities that you're in are only like 9,000 or 500 people at the smallest. Yeah. I love talking about the annual report.
No, it's interesting, it is.
Yeah, it is. I'm actually on the committee to help write the standards for the next one.
Oh,
So
Which one of ours?
I do legitimately like talking about it.
Nerd.
Yeah, truly. I'm like looking at the numbers. Also, like our collection spending, is that the next thing on here? Oh, we'll talk about circulation numbers. So we had a total of circulation of, so the amount of things that people actually checked out, and that's both physical items as well as our digital. So we had about 75,000, almost 76,000 items circulate. So with our population, that's about 9 to 10 items per person. And usually we're trying to range between 6 to 10 items per person when we're looking at that number. So we are at the top end of that range.
That's awesome.
So we have a strong usage of our library. And then our e-materials, which is about, what is it, 21,000 across the year. That is about 20 to 25% over the course of the year, which is completely standard for what we're seeing. Let's see. What is next? Registered borrowers. So we currently have about 3,000 registered users. They changed the definitions for resident, non-resident, and county this past set. So that's why if you look at the 2024, I should bring the numbers next time. If you look at the 2024 number compared to the 2025 number, there's probably a wild swing. I know we saw it in Shawano where there was a difference between like, it jumped from like 14,000 down to 7,000 because they changed how they define it. So that's what I'm talking about when I say like the definitions sometimes very much skew what we're looking at year to year. We still have really strong usage. About 40% of the population, that's what we want to see, at least 40%. If we start dipping below 35, that's when I would be concerned. 40 to 50 is going to be the stronger side, so I would like us to trend upward into moving into the future. The way they organize this is also really interesting. Okay. The next thing on here, let's see. I'll just talk about, we talked about how many people have library cards. Our library visits are also pretty strong. It's almost 62,000 total visits. That is estimated because for, October through December, we didn't have the people counter. So it's about 7 to 8 visits per person, and the typical range is going to be 5 to 8. So we're right on the top tier of that as well.
Is that people that come through the door? Or
yeah, people who come through the door and use the space. Not necessarily checking out, but just coming in using meeting rooms, coming in for the Wi-Fi, any of that is counted by the people counter. So just people coming into the building.
And if people go out and go to their car, come back, go out to the car, they're counted each time.
They're counted each time. We do look at, so when I look at the people counter statistics, I choose one or the other. I don't add them. So it's like, it's people coming in or people coming out, and then I decide which number to choose. So I'll look at it day by day, and I'll see if there's something really goofy where it's like, 42 people left, but only 35 came in. Like something happened here. And then I'll look into that. Often it's just staff choosing a different door to come through.
Sure.
It's usually what happens.
Sure.
And then, let's see. The only other real thing of note on here, this one gives us a little bit of a ding, is our collection spending. So our total collection spending was about $41,000 last year. Our budget was $43,000. We were going to spend all of it, but then Baker and Taylor went out of business, and so we didn't get some of the stuff we were supposed to get. We made up for a lot of it through our digital collection purchasing, but we were a little short.
Good.
So we're a little short from what we would want to see spent per capita. The overall guidance is usually like $7 per person, and we were about $5 per person last year. Again, this is all going to be
reevaluated. Are you okay with not spending as much? That's not so bad, is it?
Well, right now, it's not a big deal. We
Yeah.
don't have a place to put the physical books or anything.
Absolutely true. Also, like the less stuff we had to move was completely
Yeah,
fine.
we're gonna get a lot of arguments at least
But
at that point.
once we get going, we have to have another conversation about how we're going.
Yeah.
Refill it,
How are we gonna refill it, and
sustain
can
that.
can we coordinate with the other Winnifox libraries to not necessarily have to purchase things that we could get, our patrons can get from them, but what can we feel that their patrons could circulate from our library. I mean, that's gonna be a discussion that you have to have.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm confident we'll work out.
Have you had discussions like that in other libraries?
Yeah, we have those conversations a lot. We actually just had our all libraries in the system annual meeting last month, where a lot of that information, they also read a report to see like who's a net borrower, who's a net lender. So we, like Ripon Public Library is actually a net lender. Like we send out more material than what we borrow from everybody else.
Sure.
It's really interesting to see the numbers. Oshkosh is the biggest net borrower, actually. Yeah. So they borrow more stuff than they actually send out. However, they have a lot of stuff that we definitely do not have space for. So it's almost apples to oranges
That's
sometimes.
Is there anything on here, aside from obviously the book spending,
Yeah.
that you think we need to improve on or look at?
I think our book spending is a little low, so moving forward, just into the future, that's something we need to just keep an eye on and continue to work on. Other than that, our programming is probably a little light, but again, that depends on the definition. However, programming is one of those things that if you want to do more programs, they take up a lot of staff time. So if we want to be more program heavy, we would need to hire more people. We're kind of right in the sweet spot for our size with how many people we have employed, but it is just one of the missions that we'll have to discuss into the future if that's how we want the library to work.
I mean, I can only imagine that collections, the physical book buying is gonna get tougher and tougher because books are more and more expensive all the time. I feel in part because less people are buying them because I feel it's more and more expensive. So why would you buy a $35 book? Well, if you hang around on Amazon or another e-site, it might come down in a year or so to $1 or $2 for an e-copy.
Yeah.
I've done that many times. I like physical books, I got lots of them, but that, you know, you're getting the better quality binding. It will be around a while, but how long is it going to be around really? 5 years, 10 years, less? I don't know what the average time is, depends on the book, I think, right? And what we're trying to do. I don't see a way out of it very easily unless we have some more funding come in some way to do that. So that's just FYI, I guess.
Good.
100%.
All right, anything else to add to this?
I think that's everything I have that I want to point out. I mean, in general, Ripon's a really strong library. I mean, if you look at all of the metrics that we look at, we're top tier on most of them, like for a library of similar size. So like we're above average in weekly hours. We have a strong circulation number, strong visits. We have the appropriate amount of staff for what we need to do right now, unless that changes in the future based on the mission plan and strategic plan that we need to do next year. Yeah, so all of it is
Accounting for the fact that there may have been a lull with the 2 librarians that left, would you say, what areas can you say that since you've been here we've seen marked improvements in, since you've been on, 7 months you've been here? Or maybe you could answer that, Lisa, too. You know, what improvements have you seen?
What did I tell you about having to just be pretty?
Back to you, Nancy.
I will what I feel, what I've noticed is that I feel like there's better communication. I was very new when Desiree was here, and so I didn't have a lot of experience. Like she left 2 months after I came onto the board, and then of course we had Alex for a very short time. But I think Nancy, to her credit, has gone out of her way to establish or reestablish relationships that may not have been in the best condition prior to that. Also, I think we have more visibility in the community because of the work that they are all doing. The renovation helps. I think people are always curious, like, oh, what's going on over there? But the fact that we have managed the expansion or the renovation and still started establishing new programs like the telehealth thing and being part of the mental health night. That the fact that we are prioritizing our community and not getting sidetracked by some of the stuff that is just part of the renovation, I think is a credit to not only Nancy's leadership, but the dedication of our staff. And that's something
Yeah, it's both,
that
and
I
you're
see.
encouraging the staff, so that's a
Absolutely.
joint.
And I think that's a huge thing, is knowing that their director has their back and supports them.
Right there with them.
Exactly. I think that's a huge, improvement from what I've seen.
I didn't know Alex, she wasn't here too long, but the previous director did a great job in many ways. But when I'd sent an email, like, I can't make it to the next meeting, never got a response. Ghosted every time. And that's no longer, and I'm sure part of that might have been my fault, maybe I wasn't doing it the right way, but, you always, if I ask a question, I get, not that I need it, but I get a full page response.
I try to be very thorough.
I've said this before, but I think it bears stating, it really feels now that the library is working with the city and the city's working with the library. We're working together in partnership, and I realize I'm wearing two hats here. One as an alderman, one as a library board trustee and president. But it's just that work together, that sticking together, the city's helping us with overseeing the grants and
Yeah.
helping us move a little, when DPI has some time, come over and help with some stuff, that is just a big, big asset. I really feel like the library's part of the city, even though we have a separate board, we handle our own money,
Yeah.
but we're working together and we're being transparent with the city, what our finances are, our budget surplus and everything, the little bit that we might have and what we're gonna do with it, because I think they need to know to see, what we have, and I think that just builds trust, so I appreciate that.
Well said.
Yeah. Travis, would you like to add anything?
He's good.
He's
Thumbs
good,
up.
okay.
Do you know sign?
He said no, I already
He
asked
said
him.
no.
And he doesn't know Morse code either, so I was hoping for like tap, tap.
Just binary typed in.
Okay, so if there are no other questions or comments, we need a motion to approve.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual, public library annual report.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Let it be noted that Travis has voted in the affirmative as well. All those opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. All right. Okay, so the next item is discussion and possible action on the storage unit in Berlin. This is something that Doug brought up, and I don't know that we've really talked about it, but I thought we could have a discussion today to see if that is something that we want to do. Doug, when I was communicating with you, I was unclear on whether you wanted to get a storage unit closer, or if now that we've been able to move stuff around, do we even have room for, I don't know what's in there, what is all in there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's in there. Do we need the stuff? How much is it costing us?
Sure.
Is it a possibility we could bring it back or not? I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
keep track of
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, so it's about it's $50 a month. It's like exactly $50 a month.
Okay, it's not very big then.
It's not very big. We have some end panels in there. We have a bunch of tables, a bunch of chairs, and the study carrels are all in there, as well as another shelving unit, I think.
Are any of that stuff going to be reused?
A few of the items in there are going to be reused.
And the rest sell it off?
Yep.
Okay.
So
We'll keep it for a while, and then when it's time to move it back, we'll bring it all back here to get rid of it. I think that
Yeah.
might be the,
Yeah, it's either bring it all back and get rid of it, or like myself or Ben go over to the storage unit, start taking photos of the things we know we're getting rid of, and start selling things off immediately from the storage unit.
I've done that.
And then that way we don't have to bring it back, because I think to transport everything over there was
Oh.
like $1,100. So
Yeah, we don't need
the
to do
more stuff we can get out directly from Berlin before we have to bring it back would be my preference.
Well, if you do the pictures, measuring tape, so people know how big the stuff is.
Yeah,
Just an idea.
that's a
Okay?
great idea, yeah.
Don't get up there like, I can't fit it in my Camry. It doesn't fit in my Toyota.
We did have Terry Timmons, our custodian maintenance guy.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the tables that we needed for this current phase was up at Berlin, and so we sent Terry with his big truck and Andrew, who's a library assistant. They're the strongest of us, and so they went over and they got this big, full wooden big table. That's now the children's computer table in the new children's wing, and yeah, they had to unbury it underneath some of the other tables and chairs.
Okay.
And so we're slowly grabbing what we need and kind of.
Well, it's good
keeping
that
an
we're
eye.
gonna utilize what's usable, but I agree with Doug, we don't wanna just keep that over there. I mean,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to
Absolutely.
forget about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Is it the one just outside of Berlin on the way into?
Is that on F?
I have no idea what the actual address is.
Somewhere by Wisconsin Spice, maybe?
Okay, I know where that is.
Possibly.
Well, that's okay, let's keep moving. I want to get moving, and I don't want to
Okay.
get down the rabbit trail.
So for now, we're just gonna table that and revisit it when we're ready. Okay, the next item is discussion and possible approval of pay application number 4 from RJM Construction LLC for work completed through 12/5 of 2025, and that is attached.
Yes.
And the amount is?
The amount is $228,223.
Are there two payments to them, or is this the only one?
Good stuff.
There's 2 different pay applications. So there's pay application 4, and then there's going to be pay application.
They're at the
Five.
number's at the top here. Okay,
Oh, I don't look at the sheets.
okay, I'll make a motion to accept pay application number 4 in the amount of $228,223.25.
I'm gonna look to Travis to give us a motion if he wants to second.
Travis.
Let it be noted that Travis has seconded and given us the peace sign. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Okay. Wonderful. Next item is discussion and possible approval of pay application number 5 from RJM Construction LLC for work completed through 1/26. And the amount of that is somewhere on here. Did I get the amount?
127,
127.
775.
Yes.
Even.
Thank you.
Yes. All of the RJM pay applications so far they're all grant funded. These are all the pay applications that go to the state for the grant,
Okay,
because these are the construction costs.
okay.
And we already have those funds?
Yeah. well,
It's
the-
reimbursable, so we send the paperwork to them and then they actually cut a check.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept pay application number 5 in the amount of $127,775.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it be noted that Travis also approved in the affirmative. All those opposed? The motion is carried. Right on. Let's get back to my agenda, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, we got another one too, we got PRA, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so, approval of PRA invoice 2026-02030 in the amount of $54.84 and $5,484.06.
I'll make a motion to accept that PRA invoice in the amount of $5,484.06.
Travis, you want a second? He's got it.
Travis has seconded the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried, and Travis did vote in the affirmative.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion and possible action on dispersing funds from OACF renovation fund to reimburse City of Ripon for PRA oh, wait, I'm sorry.
We did that
Yeah, that
one.
is,
Nope, you're correct.
Okay.
So the first one's just voting to approve payment of the invoice.
okay,
And then the second one is to
Reimburse.
disperse
Right,
OACF
because-
Oh,
funds to
gotcha.
Because
reimburse.
that's not grant reimbursable.
Correct.
Got
That's
it.
soft costs.
Yes.
okay.
I actually had forgot about it until I saw that. Okay, well, I'll make a motion to disperse the funds from OACF renovation fund and reimburse the City of Ripon for PRA invoices totaling $5,484.06.
And I can second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Travis is yes.
I'm trying
Travis
to
is
be better
also-
about catching these invoices as they come in, instead of being like, here's 12 of
Yes,
them.
good. That's
They
awesome.
come in at weird times, but we can get this one.
Good, that's a good thing.
Is there anybody opposed to approving that? Okay, let it be noted that Travis voted in the affirmative as well, and the motion carries. All right, oh, that was fun. Any agenda items for future library board meetings that anyone would like to bring up? Awesome, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well
Travis
done.
also approved in the affirmative, and we are adjourned.
Done.